good afternoon or good evening, depending on what time you're watching. Today's going to be something a little bit different. I'm with my mate Aron, and we're going to do sort of like a podcast, sort of like a general chit chat. Talk about maybe some topics in the news.
Yeah, this is potentially something we could be doing weekly.
Possibly weekly.
Depends how well it works and how well it comes out. So
depends on your feedback as well. If it's something that you think would be good for us to talk about or maybe moan about, let us know.
Sorry, I might be mumbling sometimes because we both have quite deep voices, but I'm sure you'll be able to manage with that.
Yeah.
You'll probably and I'll laugh at it. So it's fine.
Like you said about feedback and stuff, that's good. If you've got something that maybe we could improve on or something that we could talk about, or the research for a topic you want us to talk about, just let us know in the comment section below. We're going to sort of talk about society and like the pressures on people nowadays.
Yeah, too many pressures in lots of different situations that come up in every single day life. For example, we went shopping last weekend. Basically, we went into a few different shops, River Island being one of them. They're quite high in their advertising, if you know what I mean. They market all their different clothing so well.
They're good at what they do, yeah.
They're good at what they do, yeah. The pressures on a man is to look as good as you can to impress the woman.
Impress the woman, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Basically, once you got it, you got it.
Yeah, once you got it, you ain't got to try no more, basically, what you're saying.
Digging myself a hole, I do apologise.
You haven't got to make the effort once you got them, is that what you're saying?
Nah, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think like the pressures on women are a lot more than what they are on blokes, aren't they?
Definitely, yeah.
You find out a lot, like, I don't know facts and figures or nothing, but I bet you if you looked at like the figures for, get a bit deep here, for like depression and stuff like that, it'd be a lot higher in younger women than what it would in the younger men. Because you know what I'm saying, isn't it? Like if you're going on a night out, then the lady's always worrying about what to wear like a week before, isn't she? And like, if it's not right, she starts getting stressed out and stuff. So.
I mean, the thing that's relevant at the moment is the mental health issue, and it is a thing. It's not something we can just bury away. It happens to everyone throughout your life, and fashion is high up there with like social media pressures as well.
Oh, social media pressure. Yeah. It's kind of like you get all these celebrities and stuff, don't you? But like your Kim K's and your Beyonce's and stuff, and all the younger girls seem to want to comply to what the latest trends are with what they're wearing and stuff, but they don't really need to, because no one's going to think any more or any less of them just because they've got, I don't know, like the latest trending eyeshadow or whatever like that, you know.
Right, so, but it happens, and girls do fall into the trap of buying more and more makeup and more clothes than they actually need, and you know.
I've been shopping with women like a few times, like when they've been buying makeup, and it's bloody expensive. Yeah. They charge stupid prices for it. Like, I don't know how much research goes.
Through experience that I have.
Buying ladies' clothes and makeup and wearing it on the weekends and playing around the house.
The actual makeup side of things is very expensive, and it has to be the best because they want to look their best. And as we go back to that pressure situation, people who are in the magazines and are on social media who are of like a high ranking, as you said, like your Kim K's and all that, they're wearing the best gear. So if someone else can aspire to that, then that's what they'll do.
But then again, like maybe a product, say, I don't know like many makeup brands, but say a specific makeup brand, I don't really want to name brands and put them down, but do you think they can up the prices because people like Kim K are wearing it? Like, companies are very, very clever with their advertisement and stuff, so they get these celebrities to wear this makeup so they can put the expensive price tag on it, because as you know, not all women, but a lot of women want to be like their female counterpart idols, really, don't they?
Yeah, definitely, and that's why when they advertise and they use these things in these commercials, they use the most relevant person in fashion and in all the modelling world, if you know what I mean. That's why you have the bigger brands charging prices, and people do pay the prices. It's not just like.
Well, yeah, I know it's not so much like clothes and fashion, but even if we look at a company such as Apple, they can charge whatever they want for a phone because they know it's more of a fashion statement nowadays. Yeah. And no matter how much people like say Apple's not a fashion statement, it is, because How many celebrities do you know walking around with, I don't know, like one of them, what are them phones, the Hawaii's or something?
The Hawaii's, yeah.
Yeah, like you wouldn't see DiCaprio walking down the street with one of them, would you?
No.
Like,
No.
he'd have his iPhone out, and when the paparazzi has snapped him with that phone, it then becomes a fashion statement because someone's like, "Oh, he's got one." So, you can see where I'm going with that, yeah.
Yeah, like when all the smartphones started to come out, you had your two main big brands, but you still had the competitors on the market like Sony. And at the time, Sony was huge with all the Xperias.
Yeah.
Even like, obviously,
well, not to start off with, Nokia were the biggest phone brand, really, weren't they? They used to knock everyone out of the park.
Yeah, Nokia was the brand to go to, but also you had Motorola with all the Motorola Razrs as well. And
I remember them, yeah.
No offence to Motorola, you're probably doing absolutely fantastic in life, better than me.
Well, you make good radios now, that's about it. All your phones, everyone's forgot about you.
But yeah, it's weird how it's gone. It's almost like
Was it?
The growing pressures and the growing social media, everything like that helps big brands like Apple and Samsung to sell these products. And
going back to what we were just talking about, going off topic a little bit.
Yeah,
You remember the old the Motorola Razr phones, like they were foldies, weren't they?
Yeah.
There's something so satisfying about being on the phone and being like, yeah, well, don't expect me to come home later. Slamming it shut, you know what I mean? There's something so.
Just about slamming that phone, that noise, it makes you.
You're just like, probably. God, I've really succeeded at that phone call. Yeah, she'll be crying later.
So it's like you probably just shut it and then chuck it.
Or something really good, like you get a phone call and you'd be like, I can flick my phone here, and you'd be like, oh yeah, hello Dave, how's it going?
Hello, how you doing?
It's Tawe. Well, we went really off topic there.
Sorry. I do apologise.
That's what it's about there. Bit of a random one.
It
doesn't have to be about one thing. That's what's the beauty of this. It's not scripted. It's free flowing. We've literally just been talking about absolute shit for the last 5 minutes. None of it's really linked together, is it? We started off with.
No, but it is, isn't it? It's like,
well, yeah, it is. Like it's a massive spiral. But what did we start? Oh yeah, we started with River Island, then went to makeup and slamming phones down on your ex and telling her to hoof one out. See ya. But yeah, that's kind of what we're getting at. Like, there's so many things linked to not just. It sounds really deep, but not just like suicides and depression and all this. Like, but a lot. You see it so much now, and it's the internet and technology and all this. It's like really, really affected the youth of today. Like,
if you walk past a person in the street and you don't see him on their phone, then it is actually quite uncommon now because it's become a part.
If they don't walk past you on the street, it's either because they're 90 years old and in a wheelchair, or because they're 3 years old and in a pushchair. That's the only two types of people that don't have phones nowadays. You know? Anything in between that, they're all just like absolute zombies walking around.
Yeah. I'm not cross-eyed, I promise. There's nothing wrong with cross-eyed people.
Are you cross-eyed?
I don't know, I don't think so. Like, once, when I was, I don't know, maybe 8, I had an incident with a pool cue.
You didn't sit on it, I hope.
Nah, because that would have been up the arsehole. But...
Let's just say, once I had an incident with a pool cue.
So,
worrying.
I was playing pool with my mate, and...
You had mates at the age of 8?
Yep.
Oh, popular.
I wasn't just lonely. I promise. But yeah, so we're playing pool. He decides to turn his pool cue around, and the end that you actually are supposed to use to hit the ball with was on the opposite side, you know what I mean? So he's got the thick end.
Right, this really sounds like you described something like, my mate had a pool cue, whapped it round, and he had the thick end in his hand. And the end that he's supposed to hit the balls with. Yeah.
Anyway, going off topic again. So, the chalk end went in my eye.
In your eye?
I woke up the next morning, my eye was green. And Mum was like, F this, you're not going to school. I'm taking up the hospital.
Get him, he's caught something. His mum's like, it's not my worry anymore.
He's got a green eye.
Just the one?
Just the one.
Just literally walking around with one manky eye.
Honestly, right? So, went to hospital, they rushed me in, they were like, look, we need to do scans on your eye, see how badly damaged it is, all that. Anyway, ended up spending 5 days in hospital, mini operation, Loads of eye drops. One eye's now a bit wang.
No, which eye was it?
I don't know.
The one that's not looking straight, probably.
Yeah. No, it's not like it's not like it's not looking straight. It's like one eye is a bit more.
Just a bit more wonky.
Can you tell? Maybe it is looking a bit.
Is it? Look at, you ain't got one green eye and one blue eye, have you? No.
I don't think so. It's all good. I'm not blind in one eye. I have both
Just to
eyes.
pork you to the eyeball.
I'm colourblind.
The only colour you can see is green. Blue. Was it green chalk or blue chalk? Can't remember the small.
Blue
detail.
chalk's obviously quite common, isn't it?
You can get green chalk, but
Never seen green chalk. Today. White chalk, that's common.
got some in the kitchen. Did you see?
Got some in I saw that.
Yeah. Blackboard chalk. I can't say blackboard anymore, can you? Have to say chalkboard.
Can't say colourful board.
Why would you say that? I'm just going to get my chalk on the colourful board. So talking about injuries, I'm going to ask you a question, but it is related to something this week.
Right.
Have you ever broken any bones? Because as you may know, our beloved Mr. Sheeran broke some bones this week.
Yeah, he broke his arm, was it?
I believe he broke his left elbow, his right wrist, and some ribs on his left side as well, I think.
And I've heard
Don't quote
that
that,
after the accident happened, he actually carried on cycling on.
What a legend.
So, if you can't afford a taxi, get on your rally bicycle. Again, we're using brands. I'm sorry.
Not an advert for any company here. We're not sponsored by Desperado. We're just alcoholics. We're not sponsored.
That's
but
fine.
cheers anyway. Yeah, we're not associated with rally bicycles either. Or Ed Sheeran. Actually, funny you say that. He didn't come round yesterday and say, "Do you mind making a video and putting my name in it? Could do with the advertisement." That wasn't what happened. Let me just put it on your YouTube channel with 41 subscribers. That should bring in the punters to my next gig.
Just sold out stadiums in America.
He's in Wembley Stadium. Oh, and I'd just like to give a big shout out to Rob Hart. I couldn't have done this. Filled this whole stadium without him. Yeah, no worries, Ed. Like
the arm break was for you.
I don't know why I've done that. He's not dead, is he? What was the awards as well? I can't. It was some awards anyway. He was at and.
What award for breaking your arm?
No, but
well done for being.
But he did turn up. He didn't have a sling on or a cast or nothing. Do you know what he turned up with?
Right.
Well, he did have a sling, but he turned up with a Burberry scarf for a sling. What a legend.
What, an actual Burberry?
Yeah, an actual.
So we're using brands again.
We're not associated with Burberry. Cool, their sales are now going through the roof as well. We should stop name dropping here. So can you imagine that conversation, like in the Burberry office? They're like, "Have you heard the latest news? Ed Sheeran's broke his arm." Right, that's it. Derek, get over there and give him a scarf. We'll do some advertisement on the red carpet. Can you imagine that?
That's incredible.
Like, there's someone who's actually paid to sit there and think up shit like that. All about the wonga, isn't it? Like the wonga. It's all about cash. There's someone actually
paid. I think
paid.
people are actually paid to do that. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, like you get paid to sit there and think, "Oh, I'll wait till someone breaks their arm. I wonder who it'll be." Alright, everyone, he's broke his arm. Get him a scarf. Like,
get him a scarf.
Maybe that's not how it went down, but
probably not how it went down.
How I imagine it to go down. Do you notice, like, your face is a lot more tan than mine? Like, you're more yellow and I'm more red. Do you think that's because you went on?
I'm f***ing Simpson for the day. It's fine.
Do you think that's because you went on holiday recently?
Probably is.
How was your holiday?
It was decent, mate.
Where'd you go?
To Spain. Right at the bottom, to a place called Nerca, with my beautiful woman, and it was fantastic.
Shout out, she's not famous.
Shout out to Abigail Cowley, if you're listening.
Probably not.
Probably not. We'll just leave it there. We're going back to the topic now. Have we ever broken any bones? I'm going to ask you first. Have you ever broken any bones?
I asked you first.
Alright,
I asked you and then just related it to the subject.
I'll answer the question. Yes.
You're going to tell us why or what? How?
Why or what?
How, probably.
I don't know. Probably at the age of 3, my brother decided to kick me in the nose whilst he was on a swing. Probably my fault. I walked in front of the swing. He kicked me.
I don't think it was your fault. Like, you walking in front of the swing probably.
I don't know.
Nothing.
Anyway, 23 years later, I've broken my nose 5 times.
5 times. That explains a lot.
I do have a big nose. I have many nicknames. One of them is Linguini, sometimes out of Ratatouille.
I was going to say it's like the chef.
Another one is out of Teletubbies. Remember that? Hoover, Nunu. That was one of them. I think that's about it for the actual nickname on the nose.
Just give him a side shot.
A side shot on the nose.
Oh, gee, careful. Is that the only bone you broke?
It's the only bone I've broke other than... Never broke a either, just to clarify.
He's got a vagina. Have I ever broken any bones? Yes. I've broken all my toes.
All of them? One by one?
Well, I say like all my toes on this foot.
Is this a serious?
No, this is serious. I was in my old house, not my old house, my parents' old house. They chose to have me, so I lived there. I can't remember why I was running because I don't really do it. I don't really do exercise that much, so I don't know why I was running. Probably for food. I ran out of the front room, and as I done it, my leg, I don't know what happened to it, just like spasmed out to the side, and I ended up booting the door frame.
Ouch.
And like, I don't know how old I was. I must have been about 8 or 9 maybe. And then I'm doing like my football manoeuvre of just rolling around on the floor pretending something really hurts, but this did actually really hurt. And like a day later I was still complaining my foot's hurting. It's gone like black, blue and purple. And I was like, Dad, I really want to go to hospital. I think I broke my toes. And he goes, don't worry son, that'll be alright. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Literally like a week later he broke his big toe and went to hospital.
So this is also a bit of advice to people. If your toe is black and blue, go to the hospital. And they might turn you away because of A&E pressures. We don't really want to get involved with that, I'm sorry. We'll leave that there.
About a month later, then I broke the big toe on the other foot.
Mate.
By doing pretty much the same thing.
Never broke my toe, but I've got a dead foot right now. Sometimes, if I have a poo for too long, and I sit on the toilet for about half an hour, my leg goes dead.
I had that before you come round.
Pins and needles. I've got cramps in my foot.
I get that. Like, you sit on the. I tend to poo for quite a long time. Why are we talking about right now? What has this come to already? Jesus Christ!
That's like,
I should not say his name like that.
It's a big topic, though, isn't it? Poo.
What poo? The thing is, like
it's
such an overlooked subject, isn't it? Like pooing. Like, where in the Bible do you read, and Jesus went for a shit? Like, did he just not poo, or they can't just miss something like that? That's a big part of your life. Like, everyone sleeps and everyone. They say all this great stuff about him turning one bit of bread into millions or thousands, and red wine out of something. But where does it say he went for a poo? Did he poo? But where? You know, I'm like, where does it say that?
Where does it say?
Jesus went downstairs, sat on the throne, and went for a big old turd. Yeah. Where does it say that?
It's almost like a hidden subject. Everyone in their life poos. You do as baby. You do as you grow up. Sometimes you're incontinent. Sometimes you shit yourself.
And how many movies out of the thousands of movies you watch?
Like, do you actually witness someone having a poo? Yeah.
There's some movies obviously where someone's on the bog.
I'm not saying I want to see this stuff, but...
No, but it's an overlooked subject, isn't it? Like the Queen. Does she poo? No. Did you know, right, talk about this. Do you know that Jong Un convinced North Koreans that he doesn't poo?
He probably doesn't. I reckon he's had it sewn up.
He's so full of I'm putting that in. Yeah. We're definitely getting assassinated.
I reckon. Kim Jong Un, if you're listening...
you. He wants to talk about work.
I don't like talking about work.
Well, who does like talking about work outside of work?
Everyone goes to work for one thing.
Moolah.
Dollar.
I don't know if I could live a life without working though.
No, I do.
I enjoy getting out of the house and going to do something. But
it gives you purpose.
Having said that, if everything was free and I was living in my massive mansion...
If you was Hugh Hefner, who has recently died...
Bless his
heart. Incredible man.
Definitely not in a better place now.
So, I've been at a stage in my life where I've been unemployed through some unlucky times, shall we say. So,
Yeah.
I've done my apprenticeship, got laid off, had to work in somewhere where, you know, I wasn't really happy. But you had to do these things to keep the money flowing in. Because
not just that, you have to do these things to live nowadays, really.
Yeah, it's all part and parcel of being an adult, and there is so much pressure on being an adult, and like so many life decisions you can make that, believe it or not, can up for a while.
Yeah.
If you make these wrong decisions,
like getting married.
I reckon King Jong Un, if you're listening,
you.